Alright, Shalom. I'd like to start this video by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Recha, Kwadash. Double honor unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught us this truth. Shalom to all the sincere Akim wa Agwath. Okay, primarily the brothers, pushing this truth. Alright, in truth and in sincerity. All right, and to the believing brothers and sisters who, believe upon the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. All right, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi Barakatam. Okay, and pretty much, I just want to do this quick video, because I was reading through some scriptures, man, and as I was going through it, I was like, man, Yahawashi, when he was on the earth, man, he was a man of tact. Okay, and we can see that through the Gospels, like Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, things of that nature. We can see how Yahawashi maneuvered and how he dealt with particular characters, man. Because the scripture says all scriptures are written for our learning, doctrine, and reproof. Okay, so, in light of that, when we read through the scriptures, it's not just a story. It's actually accounts of things that happen, but we should be able to learn from them. And the scriptures also say, mark the perfect man, and there's many examples, for the end of that man is peace. There's many examples in the scriptures, of men that walked uprightly, okay? And of course, the ultimate one, to look onto is none other than Yahawashi, okay? So before I read through the scripture here, what I want to do is give you the definition, all right, the dictionary definition of the word tact, okay? Tact, T-A-C-T, and it says skill and sensitivity in dealing with others or with difficult issues, okay? Similar words, understanding, thoughtfulness, sensitivity, prudence, judiciousness, courtesy, wisdom, mannerliness, respectfulness, cordiality, perception, judgment. Okay, so and wisdom as well, subtlety. So Yahawashi, he was indeed a man of tact. Let me close this window. Bear with me 1 second. Yahawashi was a man of tact, man. Okay. So So here we go. This is the book of Mark. Mark chapter 11. And I'm gonna start with verse, where we at? Mark chapter 11, verse 15. And it says, and they come to Jerusalem, right, Jerusalem, and Yahawashi went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves. All right. Now, when you check it, there were certain times of year where people that sold stuff would be more lucrative, and especially in Jerusalem, it would be around, high holy days. Because the scriptures speak about 3 times a year, shall all men come to stand before Yahweh. So what you'd have is diasporas of Israelites that lived in other regions. They would all flock to Jerusalem around these high holy days. One of them being the Pesach. Okay, even Yahawashi, did that with his parents when he was young. You know, when he just turned 12. You know, they went to observe the feast, and then when they were going back to Nazareth, all right, because that's where Yahawashi grew up in his early years. The scriptures say he shall be called a Nazarene. Not a Nazarene because of the Nazarite vow. The Lord wasn't under the Nazarite vow, but a Nazarene because his hometown was Nazareth. That's a part of the prophecy, for he shall be called a Nazarene. Okay, so Joseph took Mary and Yahawashi, you know, um, into the into Jerusalem to keep the feast, man. And his younger brothers and sisters may have been, babies at the time, or toddlers, whatever, not too far shy of Yahawashi's age, but he was around 12 at the time. Okay, and he stayed back, and that's the whole story of that. Okay, but anyhow, people would set up shop around these high holy days because they knew a lot of people was coming into town, so they'd make more money. Okay, but they were doing it in the temple. Now you've got the outer court where the heathen can come into, and do business and things of that nature. But then you've got the inner court where only Israelites could go into, But so if you start profaning that and selling and stuff, that's off, man. So when Yahushua saw it made him mad. He got angry, man. You know, and it says, and would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. And he taught, saying unto them, is it not written, my house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. Now that don't mean that it's a house of prayer for all nations. It's the house of prayer for the Israelites. But again, heathen could come into the temple, into the outer court. Okay, so when they were in the outer court, they were the officiating business or whatever the case may be. They could come. Yes, heathen could actually come into the temple, but you got the outer court, you have the inner court, and then you have the holy of holies. Okay, that's how that goes, man. So bear me 1 second. Let me, 'cause I see what's gonna happen here with this. So like what I'd done is I'd opened the window quite wide, and then I had the light on, so it's attracting these night flies. But it's gone out. Anyways, yeah, you could have heathen come into the temple, man. But the inner court, the inner was for the Israelites only. That's why you had to state. That's the importance of stating your pedigree. After your fathers, man. You can't just be anyone and come up into the into the inner court, man. And then of course only the high priest could go into the holy of holy once a year on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, man. That's just how it went. Okay, so it says, so when it says all nations, it's talking about the temple. When you do the history in the temple, that was such a focal point for us Israelites. All nations knew us to be a people of prayer. The script that's in the law. You shall be called a peculiar people. The nations would marvel at us. So it's not that all nations could come and pray to their God. It's just that we'd be known that our temple was a place of prayer and teaching to connect back, or to connect rather, onto our power. And it says, and the scribes and chief priests heard it and sought how they might destroy him, for they feared him because all the people were astonished at his doctrine. Okay, so that just shows you that you had the wicked ones of the scribes and Pharisees. And now again, we always say this: are all scribes and Pharisees wicked? Absolutely not. Okay, no, but you have amongst them, even when Yahawashi was on the scene, some of them who were wicked. You know why? Because they feared losing their power and status because of the doctrine of Yahawashi. Now, when you check it, the doctrine of Yahawashi was pretty much the same as the doctrine of the Pharisees. Is just that he was about what he preached. What the wicked ones of the Pharisees were doing is they were adding things onto the law, and they weren't about what they preached. That's why Yahushua said to the people, do as they teach you, but not as they do. If their doctrine was wrong, Yahushua wouldn't have promoted what they teach. He would have said, don't do what they teach you and don't do what they do. But the Lord actually said, do as they teach you, but not as they do, because they were hypocrites, some of them. But their actual doctrine that they taught was actually on point, because you had many groups at the time, and the two predominant groups were the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Okay, the order of the Sadducees, their doctrine was off. You know, it wasn't correct. You know, they didn't believe in the afterlife, as it were. They didn't believe in reincarnation. You know, they just thought that this is your one chance here to prove, you know, to the Most High, um, that basically your life is you know, heaven or hell here, depending on how well you can keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. But they didn't believe in reincarnation. They believed that you have one shot at this thing called life, and that's it. Okay, you know. So when you weigh up and there's other little other discrepancies, but that's just the main one. So when you check the doctrine of the Pharisees versus the doctrine of the Sadducees were on point. Okay, they also believed in the coming of Hamashiach. Okay, it's just that a lot of them couldn't accept that Yahweh was that prophecy fulfilled in the flesh. But on the other hand, some of them could. So that the Pharisees weren't wicked. It's just that you had wicked amongst them. Okay, but as for their doctrine, it was the truth. Okay, let's name a couple of Pharisees that was on point. You had Joseph of Arimathea. Okay, he donated his tomb to the Lord. He was a Pharisee. He believed that Yahushua was the Messiah. Okay, you had Nicodemus, who came to Yahushua by night. You know, when Yahushua had that conversation, you know, man must be born again. All right, how can I be born again? How can a man enter his mother's womb a second time? That conversation was had with Nicodemus, a Pharisee, who also believed in Yahushua. Okay, another Pharisee that also believed in Yahushua. Hey, a Pharisee wrote the majority of the New Testament, Apostle Paul. So there's nothing wrong with the Pharisees. You're acting like a Pharisee. What the fuck are you talking about? If you really want to go by what the word means, we'd be considered Pharisees, strictly devoting our life unto the laws, statutes, and commandments and faith of the Lord. The studying of the scriptures, man. Okay, and maintaining it. So really and truly, you know, hey, look, we come home, you know, we're into the videos. You may watch stuff here and there, some sports, some boxing, some football, some basketball, your woman, your children, whatever. But we're always in this book. Our whole life is devoted to these scriptures. You know, we try and walk, you know, in accordance with the scriptures to the best of our ability. So when you weigh it up, our lifestyle, we'd be considered modern day Pharisees. You know, there ain't nothing wrong with being a Pharisee. You know, it's about, are we right in spirit or are we wicked? Okay. But of course, you had a group within the Pharisees who feared losing status and power. So they said, you know what? We want this Yahushua man off the scene. Okay. And it says because they were astonished at his doctrine. Another place in the gospel it says astonished. All right. Or the other rendition of the word is astonished at his doctrine. Okay. Now, why is that? Because the way his approach was different. Okay, his approach. And that's the same fucking thing that gets people today. I get the message, but it's your approach. Why'd you have to say it like that? You know? Or you talk a bit authoritatively. Oh, no, but it's just a bit demanding. But that's the same way Yahawashi spoke. Because the scripture says he spake not as one of the scribes, but as one who had authority. So the very teaching style of Yahawashi was authoritative. So when we adopt that teaching style, right? Yeah, we got it from our teachers, the elder apostles, the elder bishops. They got it from their teachers, you know, the high priest, you know, King Marshal, you know, high priest, elder high priest, yeah, I call elder high priest Arya, you know, um, other great men, you know, all right. But that vibration is from the Holy Spirit, man. Okay, so they were astonished, man, you know, and it says, and when even was come, meaning the evening, he went out of the city. So Yahushua was doing camp basically. He was teaching, man. He was up in the temple, because that's what you would get in the temple. See, a lot of people they read the Bible and think, oh, it's a Christian book, so they think about the scriptures in light of going to church. You know, you walk in there, you know, choked out by some tie, and your mum probably beat you in the car. You know, boy, you better behave in church today. Don't embarrass me. Now you're in church, you know, wiping your tears, choked out by some tie, sitting down, and then standing up and then sitting down, you know, when the pastor says this or when the pastor says that, you know, what's that? Um, what else? You got the praise breaks, you know, people giving testimonies and screaming and running upon, you know, and all of that stuff and the music playing. And then you think of, oh, well, that's what it must have been like back in. No, the temple was different, man. Okay. You know, you had massive altars where incense would be burnt, frankincense, myrrh, continually, non-stop. Okay. You'd have priests that their whole office was to burn incense, man. You had other altars where sacrifices would go up, man. Okay. Turtle doves, um, 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 lamb, you know, sheep. I said lamb. Wow, I ain't hungry as well. I should have said sheep, lamb, whatever. Okay, you know, you got peace offerings, sin offerings, offerings for cleanliness, and all of that, man. Okay, so a large part of the temple probably smelled like, and I hate to say it like this, don't take it the wrong way, but a large part of the temple would have smelled like barbecue. You know when you're on a barbecue, man, and you can smell that meat on the grill, and it's going up, man, and it's smoky, and you know that a large part of the temple would have smelt like burnt meat. Okay, but the scriptures to show that the Lord Yahweh is peculiar, he said that is a sweet savor unto him. But a large part of the temple would have smelt like burnt meat. Another part, that smell would have been combated by the smell of frankincense and myrrh going up. You had other altars, not altars, you had other basins, the brazen altar, you know, with water in it, so the priest could wash their hands and their feet, you know, before going in unto the Lord, man. You know, you had the pool, um, you had the pool, okay? Yeah, there was a pool in the temple, not for swimming and that. All right, the pool in the temple, it was actually connected, a connected irrigation system to a natural flowing water underground. All right, because when you check the word, I believe it's rakat, or in Yiddish at least, I haven't gone to it in a long time. In Leviticus, the 15th chapter, it speaks about the laws of cleanliness. When it says, you know, for example, if you have sex or seed of copulation or woman on a period, things of that nature, you have to wash your body in water. When you get into the etymology of the word rakat, it actually means flowing water, meaning water from a flowing natural source, not from a stagnant source, man. You know, so to all you law guys who are, yeah, after I fuck my woman, you know, I take a shower. Okay, where's that water? Was that water naturally flowing from a river or a stream, or was that in a tank from the house or from the communal boiler, wherever you live? You know? So you have your shower before sunset. Yep, you see it. Now I'm ceremonially clean. Sun goes down, I'm good. But then the water you use to even wash if it's not verified from a flowing source, then that's not even keeping the law. So that just proves once again that law keeping thing, salvation through law keeping, is redundant. Now, law keeping is justified through Yahawashi because we're commanded to do so. But salvation through law keeping ain't gonna get you far. Okay? But you had the pool in the temple, which was connected to a flowing river source underground that would be used for washing before prayer. That Islamic religion, which is nothing but Roman Catholicism, steals a lot of concepts that are Israelite customs. You know, even the language of Arabic is the sister language to Hebrew. You know, they do something called in Islam wudu, which in Arabic would translate as ablution or washing. They wash the hands a particular way, the forearms, the face, the beard, the head, the feet, all of that. That comes from the scriptures, man. That the priest had, that was what the brazen altar was for. And daily it would be changed with that fresh water so the priest could wash their hands and feet before going in to minister unto Yahweh. Okay? So you guys talking about the law, fringes on my t-shirt, Friday, Saturday, Sabbath. Look, there's a lot more to the law than that. Okay? But you had the pool in the temple, all right? And once a year, what would happen? An angel would come down, you know, most likely invisibly, and would stir the waters. And anyone that had a sickness, the first person to go down into the pool would be healed of whatever sickness they had. So you had miracles happening with the pool in the temple, you know, Solomon's porch, So the temple, then you had like, and remember, you got the outer court, then you got the inner court. Only Israelites can go. Various teachings, various classes going on. Okay, and then of course on the Shabbat, you had the reading of the law, you know. And by the way, the reading of the law wasn't reading it, and thus saith the Lord Yahweh, power of Israel, ye shall do this, ye shall do that. No, you had something called cantors, all right? A cantor is basically a singer, all right? So when the Torah, the law, the commandment, when that scroll would be brought out, the priest of the singers, all right, that's in the scriptures, that's in the writings, man. You had priests that their whole office was cooks. Check ancient Passovers and that. You had the office of priests who were cooks. So if a brother's is a good cook, man, that's actually the office of a priest. To be a cook, be able to cook food, man. You had the office of priests who were chefs, who were cooks. You had the office of priests who were singers. Also, remember one time he was going to war, yeah, and the Lord said, put the singers at the front line, and the people were thinking like, what the fuck, man? Like, we're at war, you want to put singers of the priesthood at the front? We gonna get slaughtered, man. Their man got swords and arrows and all that kind of stuff. But Yahweh said, put the singers of the priesthood at the front line, and we obeyed, and then we went on to win the war. See, I ain't gone over that account in ages, man. But yeah, a part of the priesthood were the cooks and the singers. So when the Torah would be read, really it would be sung, you know, because what happens with songs, because of the melody and the rhythm, it sticks in your head. Have you ever learnt a song and it was unintentional? You listen to it 15, 19 times, 20 times, and before you know it, the 21st time you play that song, you can sing line for line, or you can rap bar for bar. Why? Because the rhythmic vibration of music makes things easy to remember. Okay? When you chant something or when you sing it, like when we say the Shema, we don't just say, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is." No, we chant it, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Lahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. It's easier for the mind to pick up and remember things, man. So when the law was being read out loud, it was really being sung. So you had a cantor who was a singer of the priesthood who would actually sing, open the scroll and sing the law in the hearing of the people, you know. And it could be read too, because Nehemiah read it, you know. But in the temple, you had a dedicated office to people who actually sung it, man. you know. In Nehemiah, he read it from morning till evening on the Sabbath day. And then the people said, Aman, Aman, you know. And he's not just reading it. Okay, that's it, close the book. It's reading it and breaking it down as you go. Okay. So all of that was going on in the temple. I hope I'm painting a decent enough picture. The temple was a holy but vibrant place, man. Okay. So back in the scriptures, and verse 20, and in the morning, as they passed by, they saw a fig tree dried up from its roots. No, Salak, is this what I want? Where am I at? Yeah. And Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursest is withered away. And Yahawashi answering said unto them, have faith in Yahweh. Wow. Wow. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. So yeah, it's not just about saying the right thing, it's about believing it. It's easy to say the right thing because the right thing sounds good to yourself and in the hearing of others. But to believe it, that's the next level, you know. When because Yahawashi was hungry the night before. So he went to that tree and there wasn't anything on it, so he cursed it. You know, what if the Lord said the curse on the tree, but deep down you didn't believe it? It wouldn't have happened. But because Yahawashi, of course, the best example, he believed, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant. All right, he meant what he said, and he said what he meant with full conviction. That tree fucking dried up, and the next morning it was fully withered away. So all it took was a night and a morning, and that tree had all life sucked out of it, man. Okay. So the Lord really did that. Not, you know, oh, the tree don't have food. Fuck it, I'm hungry. You know, yeah, he was pissed off that the tree never had fruit on it, you know, the figs and that. But we can clearly see the reason why he did that is because he knew the next morning they would pass by that same area, and Peter would notice that that tree that the Lord had cursed out had fully withered away, so that he could now expound on this. And that's why I said it. Well, not I said it. Fuck me, man. The Holy Spirit, Lord willing, is bringing it out. That Yahawashi is when he was on the earth, was and still is a man of tact. Okay, you know, when I say still is, even though he's at the right hand of the Father, but still is in that he's alive. Because you got certain niggas now teaching that Yahawashi is on the earth. It's crazy. But anyways, when he was on the earth, he was a man of tact. Okay, see, that's Satan, man. I was damn, man. Cause see, it's evening over here now. I got the light on and I got the roof window open. So like this fucking fly came in the room, man. And it's like you got this big ass house and that, and then you just want to buzz around me. Like, that's Satan. The whole evening I ain't doing a show, no fly, no nothing. As soon as I open the window to put on and do a show, you know, then the flies want to be buzzing around your neck. That's crazy, man. But hey, we're going to try and keep focused and push on anyway, you know. And I've left the window open so it can kind of get out, but, you know, it's not having it, is it? Whatever, man. Whatever. See, they're attracted to the light because I've got the window open. And it's getting dark outside. They won't even go out. It's just, it goes near the window and then turns back. So like you, man. See, I'm just, hey, man, I'm just raw, you know, just doing a video, man. You know, some man will stop and start again, but that's not my style, man. Anyways, so yeah, back in verse 24, therefore I say unto you, whatsoever things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye can receive them, and ye shall have them, you know. So again, praying ain't just a ritual of it's the right thing to do. We have to believe, yes, it's the right thing to do, but we have to believe that that the Lord, you know, is able to 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 do it, man. You know, and we have to believe that, and when we believe that, the Lord will help us out, man. Okay, and when He stand praying, forgive if we have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. So that shows us how important forgiveness is, you know, amongst the brotherhood. You know, because a nigga would tell you, I know it's hard to swallow, it's a hard cookie to swallow, but we gotta forgive Esau. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. Forgiveness is talking about unto your fellow brother, man. You know. Okay. Right. 1 second. I think I got that motherfucker, man. Pissing me off now. Okay. But that shows us the importance of forgiveness, man. Okay. Right. So it says, and at the season he sent. No, so like I'm jumping. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive your trespasses. And they came again to Jerusalem, and they was walking in the temple. They there come the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. You know, now that ain't no regular procession. You know, if the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders are rolling, best believe you got guards. Okay, you got temple guards. You know, you got heralds. Make way, make way. Kahan Hagadal, Kahan Hagadal. The high priest is coming. You know, okay, you know. Cathabium, the writers, the scribes, they're coming, make way. You probably had Israelites running out the way. Wow, 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 oh my God, it's the high priest, Caiaphas, you know, and all that stuff, man. And then anyone just, see, they did that because they enjoyed seeing the people marvel at them, you know. They're probably waving the hand, you know, stretching out the arm. Yes, it's me. Yes, you know, I'm the scribe. Yep, yep. The priest. Yep, I'm the high priest. You know, probably doing that wave shit, man. You know, yep, yep, yep. I know. I'm so holy. Yep. Okay. You know. Yep, yep. You know. That's how. Cause Jake liked the attention, man. Okay. Cathabium. Yo, the scribes. Ho ho ho. You know. Because that's one thing with a nigga. A nigga will claim any shine that he can get, man. You know, you probably have the scribes boasting, man. You know, you see that, you see that new Torah scroll in the temple, yeah, yeah. I wrote that, yeah. I copied it from the last one, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. You see that copy of the Psalms, that yeah, yeah. I wrote that, yeah. See, I'm the scribe. You see, you know. So it says, and say unto him, by what authority dost thou these things? Because Yahawashi, he wasn't connect. He reasoned with them, but he wasn't connected unto them. Like he wasn't a part of their establishment. Okay, Yahawashi was pretty much, you know, in the temple because it was his right as an Israelite. You know, and when you reach, you see, people talk about bar mitzvah or ban matazawath, son of the commandment, right? What's one of the rights that come to you, you know, with being a son of the commandment, having your bar mitzvah, ban matazawath, son of commandment? One of your rights as a Hebrew Israelite man, once you turn the age of 12 and have your bar mitzvah, which is really ban matazawath, one of your rights is to comment on the holy scriptures. Before the age of 12, you don't know nothing. You're still in training. You're still being taught by your dad, or if you went to the yeshiva or whatever the case, this house of scrolls, and you learn and stuff. Primarily your dad would teach you, and then you could go for extra classes to learn the law and the scriptures and the psalms and things of that nature. The Tanakh, okay, at the time, because that's what was had, okay. But when you reach age 12 and you have your Ban Matazawath, one of the rights of being a man in the assembly of Yasha Allah is that you could comment on the Holy Scriptures. So based upon that, anybody could essentially hold a class. You didn't have to, well, you know, you've got to sign up to be a Pharisee, and if not, they're the only teachers. Any Israelite man could go into the temple and basically hold a talk, hold a class. All right. Now his doctrine would be scrutinized by the rabbis or the teachers above. Oh, okay. Ooh, this brother's teaching. Okay. All right. Let's listen in. Now, if he's talking some shit, that's where you get stoned. That's where you get whipped. That's where you get told you can't teach no more. Now, all that they try to kill you because essentially you're teaching shit. Okay. So Yahawashi didn't have to sign up to be a teacher. It was his right as an Israelite man past the age of 12, being a son of the commandment, it was his right to comment on the holy scriptures. So essentially anybody could go into the temple once you're an Israelite and teach. Now of course you know how Jake is. If you're a charismatic teacher and you're teaching what the teachers above you teach, they'll probably, hey man, hey, why don't you just sign up officially and become a teacher of the scriptures or whatever. you know but Yahawashi and his disciples, they weren't signed up to anything. They just went there, taught, and the people listened. Okay? So the officials were getting jealous of that. And Yahawashi knew that they were jealous of that. Okay? Because he exercised his right to comment on the Holy Scriptures, aka to teach, being an Israelite man in the temple. So they came to him one day and said, well, by what authority? Because they're the authority, right? So they, Yahawashi, but by what authority do you teach? Okay. Uh, let's read it. And they came on, and they come again to Jerusalem, and as he was walking in the temple, there come to him the chief priests and the scribes and the elders, and say unto him, by what authority doest thou these things? Meaning the teachings and the miracles. And who gave thee this authority to do these things? Basically saying, listen, man, like if you were some one-time guy that came around here and said one or two words, hey, maybe the spirit from on high was working with you. But you getting a bit too regular, Yahawashi, and you commanding a bit too large of a crowd. So we need to check you out. Who gave you authority? You see, when you're small and lowly, and that's niggas, they don't mind you doing your thing once you're beneath them. But the moment you can command a crowd as big as they can, or the shine is so good, they stop. No, can't have that. Can't have that. Because if Yahawashi was just pulling one or two people to the side and he only could command a crowd of 4, they wouldn't really give a fuck. Oh, he's just some Israelite guy, whatever. But when the people started, because the scripture says that his fame went abroad, when they saw that, nah, this guy's big time, he's serious, man. They said, okay, now we need to get authority. We need to get legal with it. Who gave you you ain't signed up, but you ain't know who are you. You can't be teaching. So they let you do your thing once you're not as grand as them. But once you start tapping in to their crowd, and basically you run the show now, it's an issue. That's what it was, man. But again, Yahawashi wasn't breaking any laws. He exercised his right as a son of the commandment. He was allowed to teach. He was allowed to comment on the Holy Scriptures. All right? Because he had his Ban Matazawath. That's when you go up into the temple or the synagogue and you would read from the law, and it was made known that you are now a man in the community, if I can use that word, or assembly of Israel. Okay? And that's why it's the same sentiment that is carried by the elder apostles and bishops today. It's not about joining Great Millstone. It's about the truth. If you come up against you, it's for the truth. It's not, well, you can't teach because you're not with us. Teach, man. You ain't got to be a part of Great Millstone. Teach. Do your thing. All we're concerned about is that you're teaching the right thing. But you don't need to, permission slip to you teach, man. That's even in the scriptures with Moses, man. You know, Joshua and them guys, they were getting a bit funny. And Moses said, I would have that if it were up to me, roughly paraphrasing, I would have it that the whole congregation, the Spirit of the Lord fell upon the whole congregation and they could all teach, you know. So it's not a thing of groups and this and that. It's just what you're teaching, is it the right thing? Okay? You know, teach, man. You know, when you start teaching bullshit, that's where the spiritual hostility kicks in, because you're teaching against the scriptures. Okay, and that was their grievance with Yahawashi. Not that he was teaching the wrong thing, it's just that he was getting more shine than them, and that would eat into their luxuries and their finances and their fame. So they said, fuck this, we gotta kill this guy. Okay, that's what made them wicked. Not that they were Pharisees, but how they moved as Pharisees. Okay. And Yahawashi and Yahawashi answered and said unto them, I will also ask of you one question. Here comes the tact. And answer me, and I will tell you by what authority I do these things. All right. So Yahawashi, see, let's read the definition of tact again. T-A-C-T, tact, skill and sensitivity in dealing with others or difficult issues. Similar words: consideration, delicacy, judiciousness, wisdom, courtesy, decorum, mannerliness, tongue twister for me, perception, tactfulness, savvy, okay, polished, prudence, diplomacy. See, how I didn't just start cursing them out. Oh, fuck you guys. What? He said, okay, I'll answer you. He showed them respect. He conducted with decorum. He applied wisdom. He approached the matter with delicacy because he knew their wicked angle. And he said, okay, I'll answer you. But before I do, just answer me this one question. Okay, here we are. And this is the question that the Lord asked him. The baptism of John, verse 30. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or of men? Answer me. See how I was cold with it, man. Yeah, I'll get to you. But hear this. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or of men? Answer me. You know? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, see, the Lord caught them, you know? And I see them in my mind's eye, you know, there's a bunch of them, they're all grouped up, you know, whispering to one another, the mouths, the hand covering the mouth. And Yahawashi is probably just standing there looking at them you know, you know, probably scanning through them with his eyes, like, okay, what are you gonna say, man? You know, not defensive, you know, not with a puffed out chest, you know, no pride, you know, also not cowardly, looking down, but confident in the Holy Spirit, just waiting for an answer, inquisitive. Okay, you whispering, where's the answer? You know, you gotta play the scriptures out in your head. Now, when you play the scriptures out, it don't mean that's exactly how it happened, but it's like that's what prophets do, man. You read the Bible and you can play it out in your head, man. You know, in my eye, the way I play it in my spiritual eye, Yahawashi probably, opened his eyes a bit wide, you know, looking at them like, you know, what are you gonna say then? Okay. And they reasoned, verse 31, and they reasoned with themselves, saying, if we shall say from heaven, he will say, why did ye then not believe him? But if we shall say of men, they feared the people. For all men counted John that he was a prophet indeed. And they answered and said unto Yahawashi, we cannot tell. And that wasn't a we can't tell. That was like a, well, we just can't tell. That was an embarrassed, shamefaced, we don't know. We don't know. Okay. And Yahawashi answering saith unto them, neither do I tell you by what authority I do these things. Cut, man. But how did the Lord achieve that? He achieved that by being tactful. He applied sense. He knew the sensitivity of the matter, that he was rubbing them up the wrong way, all right, because of his approach. All right. He applied consideration and thoughtfulness, delicacy and understanding to the matter. I'm reading the synonym words. All right. He conducted with etiquette, saying, I'm happy to answer your questions, but just answer mine first and then I'll get into it. He applied respect and wisdom, okay, and manliness, man. And still, they couldn't answer him. So we said, okay, then if you can't give me the answer, what to do with John the Baptist. If you can't answer me on John, then fuck it. With all due respect, I ain't answering you on who and what power and what authority I do what I do. You don't answer me, I don't answer you. And remember, there was a crowd watching. You know, there was a crowd watching. So every time Yahawashi cut these wicked ones of the Pharisees, man, it wasn't no private event that could be hidden. That became the talk of the town. Or do you know that the chief priests and the scribes, they rode up on Yahawashi, and he disproved them and this and that, man, okay. That was actually in public, man, okay. And that that would have embarrassed them, man, but Yahawashi applied tact, okay, you know. And then he went on to cut them again, and he began to speak unto them by parables. And I have to speed it up because the phone's on 7%, but the way I've got it, because the case has got like a stand thing on it, but it won't be able to charge. So I'm gonna try and wrap it up quick. I'm gonna read straight through this and then close it out. This is chapter 12 now. Mark 12:1. And he began to speak unto them by parables. A certain man planted a vineyard and set an hedge about it and digged a place for the wine fat and built a tower and let it out to the husbandman and went into a far country. And at the season he sent to the husbandman a servant that he might receive from the husbandman of the fruit of the vineyard. And they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty. And again he sent unto them another servant, and they and at him they cast stones and wounded him in the head and sent him away shamefully handled. And again he sent another, and him they killed, and many others, beating some and killing some. Having yet therefore one son, he well beloved. Wow, wow, man. Yahawashi, man. Kala Yahawashi. Verse 6, having yet therefore one son, his well beloved, he sent him also last unto them, saying, they will reverence my son. But those husbandmen said among themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and the inheritance shall be ours. And they took him and killed him and cast him out of the vineyard. What shall therefore the Lord of the vineyard do when he come and destroy the husbandman and will not give the vineyard unto others? And have ye not read the scripture? The stone which the builders rejected is become the head of the corner. See, we always read that verse, but we don't really read above. This was the Lord's doing, and is marvelous in our eyes. So the servant, one servant, two servant, three, that they beat, killed, stoned. Who does that represent? That represents the heralds of Yahawashi. That represents the prophets. Okay, the prophets were sent unto the people, and the people didn't receive the prophets, man, because of the way they came and the message they brought, man. Putting the prophets in the pits, killing the prophets, having the prophets on the run. Okay, so these wicked people represents those who was doing harm, that was doing harm unto the servants. The servants represents the prophets, and the wicked ones that were doing all this harm unto them represented the wicked ones of the Pharisees, man. But then the son of the owner of the vineyard is who? The owner of the vineyard is Yahweh. Genesis the 14th chapter. Unto Yahweh the possessor the possessor of heaven and earth. So the vineyard represents the the universe, planet Earth. Let's just focus on that. The vineyard represents the earth, all right? And the owner of it is Yahweh. The servants are the prophets, but the son of the vineyard owner is Yahawashi. And what did they do? They killed him. Did not they kill the Lord? You know? Yeah, it was the soldiers of Herod and Pontius Pilate. You know, they whipped the Lord and they put him on the cross. They carried out the execution, but the motive behind it, the energy behind it was his own people. Okay? So Yahushua told that parable to say, listen, man, you guys ain't of the prophets because you killed the prophets. And you guys ain't for the heir of the owner of the vine because I am the heir. I am the son of the master of the universe. And you will kill me too. So the Lord was basically saying, you motherfuckers are wicked, man. Because you kill the righteous, you know. That's the end of it in verse 11 in red, because red is what Yahawashi actually said. Now check verse 12, chapter 12, verse 12. And they sought to lay hold on him, but feared the people, for they knew that he had spoken the parable against them, and they left him and went their way. Okay, so Yahawashi, man, Yahawashi, he knew. Look, he played. You got people saying, "Oh, GMS are cowards and this and that." You got to play on your environment, man. You got to play on your environment. Yahawashi played on his environment. There's certain things the Lord said to them in public because he knew it. Okay, prophetically, it wasn't his time to die yet. But the point is this: he knew they wouldn't do anything of physical danger to him because the people started to grow on Yahawashi. Salakia, other way around. Slip of the tongue, not of the heart. Yahawashi began to grow on the people, meaning that they started to like him more. So he was like, all right then, you niggas want to come here and question me. Let me tell a story. Let me tell a parable that's cutting you. But I'm going to do it in front of everybody because you ain't going to grab me up right now. Because you're going to lose your power. The people going to say you're wicked. So fuck it. I'm going to expose you and right in the open because I'm hidden in plain sight. So you can't touch me because I'm in front of everybody. So even Yahawashi played on his environment, man. There was times where Yahawashi ran away, you know, even like Elder Ramah said last week at the camp. People think that you just, there's just one version to you. No, you have to play on your environment, play on the circumstance and the situation at play. Like Elder was saying, you got camp talk, and then you got how you talk off camera. That don't mean you're two different people and you're putting on a show for the camera, but you have to have tact. The whole purpose of the lesson is tact, man. Yahawashi was speaking one way and sound like a Benjamite, you know. you know. But him talking one way whereby we can't really tell if I'm me him a talk, you know. But another way him talk the same way to him next brother. But him talking a way where me don't know if him a talk. So like man, I ain't Benjamin. I came up around Benjamin, man. Him talking in one way. We don't know if me him a talk. It's lucky. That's Ephraim coming up, man. But Yahushua did that. He spoke in a way where it's like, what, he talking about me? But he said it right in the open. So it's checkmate, nigga. You ain't gonna kill me in front of everybody. You ain't gonna kill me in front of everybody. So I'm gonna stay to your face. And then there was other times where Yahushua cut them, but they would have actually chased after him, so he ran away. So he's saying about being a tough guy. It's really about being a spiritual a chess player, man. A lot of guys get this thing confused. ISUPK, no cowards. Come on, bro. This ain't about playing a tough guy. It ain't a macho man contest. It's about playing spiritual chess, man. Okay? So Yahushua played spiritual chess and continually had the wicked ones of the Pharisees in spiritual checkmate, you know? Okay. Yeah, God. What him talking on one way, way by. That me him a talk. And him go over yassa. And him talk to him brother like, it him a talk. So me wanna know, who you talk? Him you talk or me you talk? Yeah, how wish I had them confused, man. Oh, man. So that's pretty much it, man. I'm gonna wrap it up there. That's pretty much it. You know, that's pretty much it. Tact. You know, Yahawashi, a man of tact, man. Okay. You know, this ain't just about, the scriptures say that, you know, being not confident in a plain way. This ain't about, you know, just rolling up and whatever, man. It's about tact. Okay. You know, knowing how to deal, man. So I'm gonna wrap it up there. You know, I'm gonna wrap it up there, man. This phone's about to die. It's on 2%. So with that, I'm gonna say, Kal Hala Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahawashi, Ba'asham Racha Kodash. Okay, that belong unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who taught us this truth, man. Yeah, man, I'll catch you brothers and your few sisters in the next one. All right, man. Shalom.